Alright, so we are back for another Dokkan battle video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about some potential Dokkan Fest units that we could see for the year 2024, because of course we are a couple weeks into the New Year's, and you know, we're just kind of waiting for anniversary at this point, so I figured I could just do a video like this, because last year, I'm going to be completely honest, wasn't really a big fan of the choices for the Dokkan Fest units. I think there's a lot of characters we need to get Dokkan Fest. For example, Tien. I don't know why he doesn't have one at this point. You know, Videl has a Dokkan Fest, and so does Yamcha. Yamcha has a Dokkan Fest from the Sand Saga. Keep that in mind. What did Yamcha do in the Sand Saga? He just died. That was it. So how are you going to give him a Dokkan Fest, but not like, you know, the Tri-Beam Tien from the Cell Saga one? Like, I don't know, stuff like that just doesn't really make much sense to me. You could tell Dokkan definitely has a bias towards a lot of characters. So, like, Vegeta's, you know, we just don't get Dokkan Fest Vegeta's, like, ever. I think the last one we had was Majin Vegeta, and of course he's not really all that great now. So there's a lot of characters we definitely need for the year 2024 for Dokkan Fest units. So figured we could do a little prediction video, and then I don't know, maybe at the end of the year we can look back at this video and see if how many I got right or something like that. But anyway, yeah, you can see we got Tien right here. I mean, this guy definitely needs a Dokkan Fest. There's not really that many good Tien units in the game right now. I think there's the Prime Battle one. There's the, I mean, who else is there, really? Oh, yeah, there's the World Tournament Tien. Where is he? This guy right here. Both of those guys are pretty solid, but Tien isn't really the best character necessarily because we've got like 4 cards, and most of them just kind of suck. Even the Banner Unit Physical Tien, this guy's not that great. He's more of a slot 2 and 3 unit, and if you're facing multiple enemies, he doesn't have that dodge, so then, you know, that definitely heavily nerfs him. So we need a new Tien just because right now, a lot of the teams he's on are really weak as well. Worthy Rivals could use the help, Earthlings could use the help, All Out Struggles, Saviors, Connected Hope, Bond of Friendship, and if he's Tien from this moment right here where he did the Tri-Beam, of course he'd be on Android's Cell Saga as well. So there's a lot of weak teams he's going to be buffing. If they want to make him a support unit, I think that'd be very good as well. Give him some value on a lot of these teams, because in terms of his link set, he's not going to be that great. I mean, I could just say that right now. A lot of these Earthlings units typically have weak link sets, so then making him a support, so then you could throw him next to whoever he's supporting, and then that'd be a good rotation, would definitely help him out a lot. So I think a Dokkan Fest Tien that supports could be very good, but if you want to make him just insanely busted and not a support unit, then that would bring his value up very high as well, because then maybe even without a couple of these links activated, you could still just kind of throw him on the team, and because he's got guaranteed guard and like 500% the stats or something crazy like that, then of course he'd be very valuable. And that would also kind of make sense for this moment of Tien as well. He's like really powerful in the moment, and then I guess he gets really weak. So maybe they could do something similar to like Golden Frieza, where he's really, really good for the first like 5 turns, and then maybe he kind of wears off a little. But with the way content is structured right now, that would just make him very good, because content isn't really going past turn like 8. So if you get him in maybe slot 7, this guy's going to be great for the whole fight. So definitely a lot of potential with the Dokkan Fest Tien from this moment specifically. I mean, this is peak Tien in my opinion, so you can't really do a Dokkan Fest Tien and not have it be from the Android/Cell Saga. So this would make the most sense in my opinion. But another thing I want to point out, a Dokkan Fest Krillin, which I don't have pulled up, so I want to pull that up really quick, would also kind of fulfill the same roles as the Tien. Both of them would be really good Earthlings options, and they're on a lot of the same teams. I mean, of course, it does depend on which moment you pick from. You know, comparing the Sand Saga Krillin is a little different than the Android/Cell Saga Tien. But I don't know. I mean, maybe you could do like Namek Saga? That might kind of work, a Namek Saga Krillin. I mean, he doesn't do a whole lot in there, but as we established earlier, Yamcha only died during the Sand Saga, and he got a Dokkan Fest. So I'm sure they can make something work with Krillin from the Namek Saga. And of course, it'd be good to get buffs towards those categories, playing a Namek Saga, all that. But more specifically, Krillin is typically on stuff like Battle of Wits, Bond of Friendship, obviously he'd be on Earthlings, he might be on Full Power, something like that. So still some weak teams he's buffing, and still a lot of potential for a Dokkan Fest. But similar to Tien, you know, his link set wouldn't really be that crazy. I think it'd probably be a little bit worse with a Krillin too, because he'd have maybe like Courage, High Compatibility, which you're obviously not getting activated most of the time. So again, their link sets are going to be a little rough with these Earthlings Dokkan Fest, but I still think overall could be very good releases. And then next up, I do want to talk about a Dokkan Fest Goku Black. So I think it's pretty safe to say Goku Black got heavily shafted during Worldwide Download Celebration 2023. Obviously, this guy got his Easy A, wasn't really that great, or at least as good as he could have been. And then we didn't get a Part 2 Carnival LR Goku Black either. So then giving us a Dokkan Fest Goku Black you know, maybe just to make up for that or something, would definitely be very good. He'd help out a lot of the teams that he's on, because during that Worldwide Download celebration, I don't want to say Extreme Class didn't get what it needed, because there was definitely some good Extreme Class releases, but it could have used a little bit more. So for stuff like Inhuman Deeds, Corroded Body and Mind, a Dokkan Fest Goku Black would greatly help these teams, especially because Inhuman Deeds, I mean, I make fun of this all the time when I can in videos, but dude, what is this? Look at it. We have a 150% lead for Inhuman Deeds. Like, why? We at least need a 200% lead for this, so would make perfect sense that we get a new Dokkan Fest Goku Black that would lead maybe Inhuman Deeds, and then, I don't know. I mean, I would say Inhuman Deeds and Corroded Body and Mind, but Corroded Body and Mind isn't really great either, and this also needs a 200% lead, but it's got a 170% lead, so it's doing a little bit better than Inhuman Deeds, but it definitely needs a good lead eventually, so I would say probably make him lead Inhuman Deeds, and then I guess like Worldwide Chaos, right? Because you want to throw another good category in there so his team doesn't just straight up suck, because if it's Inhuman Deeds and Corroded Body and Mind, these categories aren't necessarily insane, so he's not going to have the craziest of teams, at least on release, so it'd make a little bit more sense to throw in just one of the weak teams and then another really good team. But yeah, still, a very good release all around, would definitely be helping the game out, and we need a little redemption for how Goku Black got treated during Worldwide Download Celebration. So overall, this just would be very good, right? And then next up, I do want to talk about some Namekian Dokkan Fest. So we got Demon King Piccolo and then a Lord Slug. Both of them need Dokkan Fest units. Lord Slug specifically because, dude, this guy has no representation in Dokkan. We've got one free-to-play unit, and then, oh yeah, this guy right here, the physical one. There's 2 cards in all of Dokkan for Lord Slug. I mean, come on now. We're almost 9 years into the game. Give us a Dokkan Fest Lord Slug. It would make sense. We need one. We need... Pretty much all of these categories need buffs. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. Movie bosses, it's starting to become a pretty decent team, but still some more units on there is needed. Giant Form needs the help. Namekians needs the help. Dragon Ball Seekers needs the help. Terrifying Conquerors needs the help. Inhuman Deeds needs the help. Space Traveling Warriors could use the help. Power of Wishes doesn't necessarily need it, but all these other teams need the help. And he's got a really good link set for all these teams as well, because most of these categories are Extreme Class dominated. So then, for a unit like Lord Slug, who has Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, Metamorphosis, Nightmare, he's going to be linking well with pretty much everybody on those teams. So a really good release for Extreme Class. All they'd have to do is make him good. And that's not necessarily a given. Dokkan, well, you guys know how they like to handle Extreme Class units. So I hope we get a Lord Slug, but I also hope he's good because, you know, just having a good link set in good categories doesn't make a unit. We need him to actually be impressive. And then with a Demon King Piccolo, I mean, same really goes. He's on some more teams, some more weak teams. So he's got full power, he's got Time Travelers, Dragon Ball Saga, Gifted Warriors, Stored Figures, Sworn Enemies, Worldwide Chaos. So actually, this guy would work pretty well with like the LR Goku Blacks and Zamasus. Or if you want to just throw him on like the half-corrupted Zamasus team or something like that. So that definitely has potential to be good. I'd say just don't make him restricted to any team. Same goes with the Lord Slug as well. Just don't make them restricted to any team. Make them pretty solid, and then they're buffing so many teams. Because Namekians, you know, not really the best category right now. So definitely a Dokkan Fest for that is needed. And I feel like there's some hype around a Demon King Piccolo and a Lord Slug. Maybe not for like a major celebration, but just as a random Dokkan Fest. You know, I feel like this could carry its own weight. Would be pretty exciting. So definitely something we need there with the Demon King Piccolo and then the Lord Slug. And then next up, Dokkan Fest Baby. I mean, it's heavily needed. GT Bosses sucks. Can always use more buffs. There's not really a good baby unit in the game other than this guy. I mean, obviously, he's very impressive with his EZA. Global, I think we get him in a couple days. But other than him, I mean, is there any good babies? There's this guy. I kind of forget what his passive is. Oh, dude. That's a joke, man. What is that? No super attack effect and 5,000 attack and defense start of turn. Alright, so give us a Dokkan Fest Baby, EZA this guy, and then, I mean, that's pretty much all you could do because there's no other baby in the game. I mean, there's this Band Unit Baby, but he just released, and he's still somewhat solid. He's not good by any means, but he's kind of alright. And then there's this Int Baby. I don't think he has his EZA either. Yeah, no, he doesn't. Okay, so there's some potential with this guy. You could EZA a couple babies, give us a new Dokkan Fest Baby, and then if you don't fumble them, GT Bosses could be in a pretty good spot. So definitely a lot of potential with the Dokkan Fest Baby. So many weak teams. I mean, most of the units I'm talking about, I'm specifically talking about them because they're on some really weak teams and they're buffing a lot of these categories that never really see any buffs in Dokkan. Because like I said earlier, there definitely is a bias in Dokkan. Extreme Class typically doesn't really see that many additions because it doesn't really make them as much money. So, of course, it makes random Dokkan Fests that are Extreme Class very important, and they need to actually be good because they're the only real buffs we see for these teams. But yeah, Baby could be great. He already has some pretty solid linking partners set up for him with this LR Baby, and then if they easy the other babies, that would kind of solidify his team a little bit more. But then finally, I do want to talk about maybe I don't know, a Golden Week candidate or something like that. But we got a Wrathful Broly and then a God Vegeta. I think both these guys getting Dokkan Fest is definitely needed, whether they want to do them separately or just release them as a dual Dokkan Fest. I really don't care. I feel like it is good potential for a dual Dokkan Fest, but it's kind of just in the hands of Dokkan. As long as we get them both as Dokkan Fest units, I'm happy. Because like I mentioned earlier, we do not get any Dokkan Fest Vegetas. I mean, you look how crazy Goku family is, and then you think like, oh, okay, so Vegeta family is probably around that level. No, not really. I mean, there's like one good lead, and it's Majin Vegeta, and he's aged a lot. And then everyone else on here, I mean, you know, they're good, but they're not like insane. Vegeta and Trunks definitely can be good. I think they're the one exception. Carnival LR Trunks, he's all right. He could have been better, but those are the only real two good units. Everyone else on here, either they're not insane, or they need their easy A. That's pretty much all, because there's a couple good units that have potential to be good. Obviously, you got this Vegeta right here. He released during Sand Day. He's got potential to be good with that guard and the support. There is the Transforming Trunks. You know, if you get really lucky with stacking, he can look pretty impressive, but you can't really get a good team going. There's only a few specific units that are actually good. So I think a God Vegeta, right? A God Vegeta that leads Vegeta family, maybe supports it a little, and is just good overall. They kind of got the guard theme going on with this Vegeta, so it makes sense if maybe they just gave him unrestricted guard. That'd definitely be good. And then, of course, he'd be buffing a lot of teams with that. And then same with Broly. Maybe if we end up getting a Berserker Broly for part 2 of the 9th year anniversary, then this guy could work pretty good on his team. That could be a pretty solid rotation. So I think both a new God Vegeta and a new Wrathful Broly would be good for the game. And again, for something like Golden Week or maybe next New Year's Dual Dokkan Fest, something like that, this would be a very good option. So I guess that pretty much has been the video. Let me know which Dokkan Fest units you want to see for the year 2024, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.